But there is a guy that I'm going to speak about today, and I'm going to speak about him in a good way, only because he recently came on YouTube. Many of you who follow me know who he is. His name is Joey Merlino. Nice guy, real deal, very well respected guy, and a guy that I've respected from afar. Now, I don't know Joey. He came after me. Everybody, it's funny. I used to be the youngest guy among everybody. Now I'm just about the oldest guy, and I have mixed feelings about that. The good thing is I'm still here to talk about it, but the bad thing is I'm getting old, 72 years old. I don't feel it, but reality is it's 72. But Joey became, more prominent back in the 90s, really, and he lives in Florida now, and he's enjoying his life. He went through a lot of stuff, but I recently watched his YouTube channel. He's just come on. He's talking about sports, and it was very interesting, very good. And I think people should tune in. I think you're going to like it. Joey's a very well-spoken guy, and I think you're going to enjoy his YouTube channel. So I tuned in when I heard that he was on, and I listened just to the first part of it, and it was amazing. He talked about an incident that he had a couple of years back in the 2020 election, where allegedly they said that he was fixing the election for Joe Biden. It was a big story. And the way he described it, he said he woke up one morning, his mom called him and said, "Hey, you're in trouble. What did you do? You fixed the election for Joe Biden." He didn't even know what they were talking about, and they made a whole big deal of it. And then what happened later on down in Florida, he happened to be at a gathering, I think a golf tournament or something, not a tournament, but a golf gathering where Donald Trump was. And he took a picture with Donald Trump, and oh man, they blew that up. Like, there's the mob and Donald Trump, and he says it right there. He said, Trump didn't know who I was. And he said, Trump was very courteous to everybody. He stops, he takes pictures. You don't even realize he's the president. Said he was very, very nice and cordial. And I've heard that from a lot of people. Trump takes the time out. He'll take pictures with you. He'll chat with you. Very outspoken, very, normal guy in that regard. Forgetting everything else, whether you like him or not. That's the reality. You got to, when the truth is the truth, you got to say it. So, but Joey was talking about how CNN blew it up and all this kind of stuff, and there was no truth to it whatsoever. And he says right then and there, he said, if I'd have tried to fix the election, I'd have fixed it for Trump, because he's a Trump supporter. And I want to bring this up. It's amazing how many, guys that were part of that life in some way, shape, or form are now for Trump. Because I grew up, my whole family, and I grew up, and just about every guy on the street that I know, we were all Democrats. And I've said this many times, the reason we were Democrats is because Republicans had the reputation of being tough on crime. Democrats did not. And also, Democrats were easier to corrupt. That's the bottom line. I don't care who likes it, who gets offended by it. That's the truth. I have my own experiences. I talked about it. I'm not going to be redundant. The guy that helped me get my licenses, for my gas operation, was a Democrat. We paid him. And I can talk about a lot of situations like that. What's the sense of going into it now? It's just the truth. Okay, it happens to be the truth. Republicans were tough on crime. And what do we see going on right now? Who's soft on crime? All of these Democrat cities, what's happening? Do you know that in LA right now, if you want to get toothpaste and certain under a state, horrible what's going on, right? New York, come on, stay home. Good when he was here, or Merlino. I think you're going to, whether you believe his policies were good when he was the president, and if you're honest, whether you like him or not, compare his years to what's been going on in the past 2.5 years. That's it. But anyway, getting back to Joey Merlino, I think you're going to enjoy his podcast. He knows a lot, obviously, about sports. I don't know if he's going to talk about anything else. That's up to him. But welcome aboard, Joey. I hope you do well. And maybe when I'm down in Florida, we'll get to say hello one day.
You're a rat. You're a rat. Like, same thing with Sammy the Bull. Listen, do me a favor, all you rat motherfuckers. Do not invite me on your show. You're insulting me. I wouldn't pee on you if you were on fire. Leave my name out of your mouth and go about your own business. Use all. I'm done with you.
For that. And my friends, this is something a little out of the ordinary for me. I never do this, and most of you that follow me know that I never do this, but I felt that this was very appropriate. And something happened this morning that troubled me. And how did I find out about it? Well, by all of my supporters, many of you who contacted me to let me know about this. And so I investigated it. I did a little research because of what you told me, and I want to respond to it. And people, you know this, especially my followers who are so supportive, tell me, Michael, don't ever respond to any of this nonsense. And I don't. This is social media. By getting on this platform, you open yourself up to all sorts of stuff. There's a lot of things that go on. A lot of people talk. A lot of it is not true. A lot of it is exaggerated. A lot of it is made up. I just let it go. It's not important. And I've been able to build this platform because of all of you and all of my supporters. But I appreciate those of you who contacted me this morning about this, because kind of draw the line when they come after my family and they say things that are just absolutely not true. So let me tell you what happened. Joey Merlino, who a couple of months ago, whatever it might have been, decided to join the YouTube platform. When I heard about it, I spent 2-3 minutes and welcomed him aboard the platform and, said something nice about it. I don't recall exactly what it was, but basically welcomed him aboard the platform. What's come to my attention today that a young man by the name of Justin sent a direct message, I believe, to Joey Merlino, and Joey took it upon himself to read it during his podcast recently. I think it was in the last day or so. And basically what this young man said was that he was my attorney and that, he thought it would be nice if Joey and I were to get together and he would come on my podcast for an interview. Now, let me make this clear. I haven't spoken to this young man for at least a year. I haven't communicated with him by text, email, social media, in any other way. He used to work for my wine company in Michigan, and that ended about 5 months ago. Nice young man, thought he was doing a nice thing, and look, people in that life understand. You try to get in somebody's good graces. Maybe, hey, Michael, you know what? I got in touch with Merlino. He wants to come on your platform, whatever. He thought he was doing a nice thing. He's not my attorney. Joey, for some reason, read this, thought it was appropriate to read this, and said that he was my attorney representing me. And in there, he said that it would be nice if he came onto my platform. Obviously, this young man was mistaken because he thought he was sending this to somebody with class. Obviously, that's not the case. Now, Joey took it upon himself to call me a rat, which is okay. I've heard all of that. I've explained there's nothing more to talk about that. Call me whatever you want in that regard. But then he went on to talk about my father. And what he said about my father is this. He said, for Sonny Franzese to associate with his son, because he said that I paid my father's bail, I picked him up when he came out of prison, that my father, Sonny Franzese, must be a rat also. Now, let me tell you this, Mr. Merlino, you couldn't shine my father's shoes on his worst day. My father was one of the most stand-up guys ever in that life, and everybody knows it, even every one of your associates, and you know it also. So what you said was so totally out of line. And you know what? You would never in a million years say that to my father's face. Of course we know that. I don't think you'd say it to my face. And if you want to, just let me know. I'm here, not going anywhere. Okay, but to call my father a rat, my father associated with me because maybe he knows more about my situation than you do. Maybe the Colombo brass, the people that mattered, know a little bit more about what I did or what I didn't do than you do. But you feel it appropriate just to shoot your mouth off and call people names. Like what you say about me, I could care less. You don't mean anything to me. But what you said about my father, who are you kidding? My father, again, was the most stand-up guy in that life. Took 50 years on the chin and never opened his mouth about anything, and everybody knows that. So who are you to say something like that? Really? And let me tell you something. If my father had something to say to you, he wouldn't be saying it to a bunch of people on social media. He would say it directly to your face, as I would. Absolutely. So I don't know where you're coming from. And like I said, I don't know this young man, and he sent you a following DM. Why don't you read that? Read that. And let me tell you something also. Don't flatter yourself, my friend. I don't need you on social media. Maybe you haven't been paying attention to what's going on. I don't need you. I wished you luck when you came on board. I didn't realize you were a classless guy. I thought you were a guy with class. And let me ask you this. If you still are involved, and I have no idea, nor do I care, what are you doing on social media? You wouldn't see my father on social media. You wouldn't see me on social media if I was still part of that life. What are you doing on social media? Answer me that. Never do I ever respond to any of this stuff because obviously, too, there are other people, that immediately picked up on what you said this morning and, Joey Merlino smacked me down and all of that. You're not smacking me down when you're talking on social media, Joey. You know that, and I know that. And let me tell you about Sammy Gravano. He's my friend, like it or not. I'm not interested in what he did before. I like Sammy now, I like his family, and I don't care who knows it or who disagrees with it. That's how I feel. Whatever happened before, none of my business. Didn't involve me, and that's it. I don't appreciate the fact that guys get on social media and they start talking about everybody, and other people just can't wait to bring other people down. They jump on it like it's oxygen. It's unbelievable. It really is. And you know what? It's quite pathetic. Because if you got nothing good to say about yourself, if you can't bring yourself up and make something out of this platform on your own merit, you probably even shouldn't be on here. If you got to use other people to make yourself important, shouldn't be on here. I don't come on here and talk about other people negatively because that doesn't prop me up. It doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't do anything for me. So let me just leave you with this, Joey. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Okay? I'm not impressed with you. I'm not interested in your talk. But let me tell you something. Before you make remarks about my father, know what you're talking about. Really. Because if you still are on the street, there's going to be people that are pretty much offended by that. Nobody can say a disparaging word about my father as far as him being a stand-up guy. And let me respond again. If my father was close to me afterwards, and he was, despite all the nonsense that's going on out there, then maybe he knows something that you and everybody else don't. Maybe the Colombo Brass, my former family, maybe they knew something about what I did or didn't do that you don't, and that the rest of the world don't, and I don't have to tell anybody. It's nobody's business what went on between me and my father and the brass in the Colombo family during that time. I'm going to leave it at that. So you do what you want with this, Joey. Do whatever you want. You know what? I don't like to make, and I don't try to make enemies, and I'm not going to consider you my enemy. You can consider me whatever you want. But I'm going to answer to this the first time I ever responded to anything like this, because you don't go off and say things about my father that are absolutely untrue. And once again, I'll say it and I'll leave you with this. You couldn't shine my father's shoes on his worst day.
And this is what everybody's been waiting for.
Yes.
And I want to go over a little about this. Lee Cole had a poll, certain things that you said about family members that you didn't say anything wrong. So how do you feel about that?
Well, he had a poll. 60-some% said I was wrong for talking about Sonny Franzese.
Yeah.
And his jerk-off son I think he put a show up too. I didn't say it.
Yeah, he did. They all
They
put
said
up
I
shows.
couldn't shine his father's shoes.
Yeah.
Your father's a rat just like you. First of all, let me explain something to you. Your father knew you were a rat, and he hung with you. You picked him up from jail. Up on me, they never talked to me again. So I guess they were talking to him. They said they weren't. But that's what you do. You disown them. You don't fucking condone it. You condone it, you're just as bad as them.
Yeah, we don't care about the polls, who talks
Yeah,
about
the
us,
polls,
who this. Yeah.
the 63%, they're all probably rats too.
Yeah, so
I ain't even worried about them. And Michael Franzese, you said you didn't cooperate, huh? Well, I got something for you, my man. You didn't cooperate. You ratted on fucking everybody. Here's all your 302s. I'm going to show them. When you see the video, take a screenshot and read these, and tell me if he ratted or not.
Yeah, we got all the paperwork right here.
Here you go. He was hanging with. They tried to set Don King up. Him and Al Sharpton, that other fucking rat. Al Sharpton's been a rat for 50 years. There's all the 302s. Their words, the FBI's words, not mine. I ain't making this up. These are from 1980 something, right? What's it say? 89.
Yeah, 1989.
89. Yeah. Here's all the stuff. So we're gonna put them up on the thing and screenshot them and read them, and then you tell me if he's not a rat.
We're going to post everything. We have all the paperwork and things.
It's all from the FBI. It's ain't from me.
When you look at, for example, Sammy the Bull,
Right.
he admitted to killing 19 people.
Right.
In terms of his involvement in 19 murders, one of which is actually his brother-in-law.
How about the kid? The 16-year-old. He don't talk about that. He killed the 16-year-old innocent kid.
he ended up getting 5 years because for his, he cooperated against a bunch of mafia bosses. I mean, he was going on a tour of taking the stand whenever they wanted to in order to achieve that. What's your take on it?
Well, you got 5 years. He killed 18 people. You do the math. What do you get? 3 months of murder. You get more for drunk driving. Right? You get more for drunk driving. 3 months. 3 months of murder you got. That's like taking Bin Laden to get his underlings. Would they give Bin Laden a deal? He went and told all people. I mean, listen, they all got the same. Franzese, Sammy the Bull. I don't even know. Sakali, whatever. They're all that fat kid Ruggiero, whatever the fuck his name. He said they changed their life. That's what they say. Yeah, they changed their life when the fucking handcuffs went on them. Let me ask you a question. If Sammy the Bull and all them, whatever the fuck the names are, Franzese, all these rats never got locked up, where would they be right now? You tell me.
I'm not sure. Probably doing the same thing they were doing
Yes,
before they got
Philly
locked
and
up.
Eddie. Yeah, Philly and Eddie. His mother used to love it when they called him. They used to write in the paper, Phil Crazy Philly and Eddie. She loved it. He would be in Atlantic City. Sammy the Bull be on Mulberry Street. Franzese, now he found God. They all found God. You didn't find, when you were robbing the government out of gas money, you didn't find God. You didn't go to church and give them no fucking money. You were a tough guy walking around New York. So they didn't change. The handcuffs changed them when they got locked up. That's the fucking bottom line. They could say whatever they want just to try to justify it. This guy said this. This guy was going to kill me. This guy didn't give my wife. Ralph used to say, I went to jail. They didn't give me no money. They all got to say, there's no excuse. They were going to jail. If Ralph didn't go to jail, if he didn't get locked up, he'd be walking around like fucking Hitler.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've interviewed, easily over 100 people that have cooperated for various reasons. And it's always like, I would have gone to jail and done 500 years until I heard the tape of John Gotti saying that he's going to turn on me. And then at that point, I cooperated against everyone. And it's like, well, you didn't just cooperate against Gotti. You cooperated against all these other people that didn't say anything about you. Yeah. And it's like, well, but it's not just me. I was just one of many and so forth. There's always a great excuse to cooperate. It's always, I would have done it except that this one thing, and that made me go completely in the opposite direction.
You're 100% right. Listen, they can say everything they want, money, all this, that. The main thing is when them handcuffs went on them, when they got indicted, that was it. They were telling. If they didn't get indicted, they still be out right now. They'd be wherever they still be doing what they were doing. So it's all shit when they say, I changed my life. You didn't change your life. The handcuffs changed your life. I'm the same guy. I got indicted 5 times. Nothing changed my life. I'm the same guy. That's it.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel and check out more of our content. Feel free to give your feedback and suggestions on what we should do next in the comments. This is Infinite Lee Productions. We love ya.